Okay. Oof. Let's have a look, shall we? Right, we need to get back to Zul'Farrak. Good morning. We're just heading back to the lovely Zul'Farrak today, as we're going to be doing a weekly wrap up for gold making for pretty much the week. So first of all, we'll be covering the standard procedures, and then we'll go from there. We'll just have to make sure we need to get to Zul'Farrak first. Not the end of the world. Weekly gold wrap up. Once the weekly gold wrap up is actually done, then once that's actually done, then I will compile them and then make them into their separate videos. This is a new way of formatting it, so if you want to see all of the content, then you can watch the stream. However, I will break it down into those separate videos for the upcoming week. So that being said, we'll just jump over and start talking about our week of gold farming, which includes instance farmer gold sheet, the vendor gold farming, and also the crafter's mark, along with another little additional thing that I've actually been doing this week. And then we'll go from there. Aside from all of that, we'll just get started. Okay. I love doing this. Right. So, let's just pull up our gold sheet and get started with all of this stuff right here, and then we'll go from everything else as and when it actually comes about. Right. Let's just see and have a look. We come on to Zul'Farrak. Okay, right. And just need to pull up one other thing before we actually are ready for going over all of this, and that is the Zul'Farrak pull down and all that stuff. So then we can close that, and then it will actually save where we're actually at in this particular run, so to speak. So, right, I'm actually not sure how to do this, so let's just let's go over this. So for this week of instance gold, I decided to farm up Zul'Farrak. So I actually did 3 hours worth of gold farming with Zul'Farrak. This included run number 1, which currently on my gold spreadsheet was 38 minutes for run number 1, with a farmed value of 15,993 gold. Along with that, our gold versus time was 420 gold, and we actually managed to get a hold of quite a few items on our first run. This was the Jade Greaves, which sell for a decent amount of gold, also the Black Metal Cape, the Eye Gouger, Troll Protector, and the Flame Incinerator. I really got really lucky with run number 1 of Zul'Farrak, as well as on run number 2. I didn't really get that much on that particular run. This one took me roughly around about 40 minutes, along with a farmed value of 6,327 gold. I got really unlucky with Zul'Farrak on that one. I was really hoping for the glorious leg plates to drop. However, I managed to get a gold versus time of 158 gold. On run number 3, however, I managed to get an item of the Jade Greaves once again, and this actually brought us at a time of 41 minutes, which I did on yesterday's stream, and I managed to get a farmed value of 8,171 gold, along with a load of other different types of greens. However, along with that, our gold versus time was 199 gold, bringing in a nice total overall of 119 minutes. Or or just under 1 hour 59 minutes, or 1 hour 59 minutes for the particular farming session of 3 hours. This gave us a farmed value of 30,491 gold, so not really that good for Zul'Farrak at this moment in time when it comes towards my server specifically. Along with that, our average time for this was 23 minutes, and the average farmed value was 6,998 gold. And overall, let's have a look at our lovely auction house when it comes towards Zul'Farrak. So if we pull up our auctions, we can then go to Zul'Farrak within this, and then we can click on Zul'Farrak, and it will show all the items on the auction house that we managed to get from Zul'Farrak. This came up to an auction house value currently at 30,231 gold. I'm really happy with this. However, the 3 hours of farming wasn't really worth it in the grand scheme of things. On the other hand, Zul'Farrak came in as pretty much a bust. I was really hoping to get some of the notable items, which was the glorious leg plates, which are one of the keynote items from this particular farm, along with the jade set. The other different types of items are the black metal cape, spell shock leggings, runed ring, brain lash, gut wrencher, the blood letter scalpel, the minotaur, which I actually like that transmog, the eye gouger, witch doctor's cane, flame incinerator, and troll protector. This actually worked out quite well in my favour when it came towards gaining those. However, the value on my server specifically is quite low, as I'm on quite a high pop server where it farms a lot of transmog. Overall, I'm quite happy with the way things are actually going thus far, as our total auctions are at a posted auctions of 1,036,803 gold on the auction house currently. Our liquid gold at this moment in time is a lovely 83,947 gold, so we're going to have to specifically go for more high-end ticket or high-ticket items on the auction house. That being said, we have 110 items on the auction house. This is due to the fact that we're going for the high-ticket items more or less than the low-end items. Along with that, with our actual farm for this week, we can have a look at our lovely little mailbox, which overall, it didn't actually do all that well. We only have 4,258 gold sold for this week, which wasn't all that good, as opposed to last week, which was 24,653 gold. This will actually go up in value, just providing the amount of farms or what actual farms we specifically do and which RNG will affect us. That being said, this part of Instance Gold is all about farming up transmog and is not specifically to do with just instances. It's mainly to build out a transmog empire. It will start slow at the beginning and it will always just build up over time. So let's just pull in all of this lovely amounts of gold and we can just build in and build up all specifically with that. However, that was a total of 4,258 gold. Overall, our total gold that we've actually earned just from the mailbox is 75,780 gold, along with all the raw gold, which boosts us up to 88,206 gold in our bags at the moment. I'm hoping to get some bigger sales next week, or we will be covering more transmog farms more frequently than opposed to just one specific one in the upcoming weeks. That being said, that is our episode of Instance Gold. If you want to find anything on that one, that is the Instance Farmer Gold Sheet, which is located on the Patreon. Other than that, we're going to head over now to our lovely vendor gold for the week, and we'll cover that going alongside this. Now, you're more than welcome to ask any questions while I'm actually doing this, but that is Instance Gold for the week, and we'll be jumping into all of that stuff moving forward. The next things of note that we actually do need to do is just go over vendor gold and the crafter's mark, because we've done quite a few bits when it comes towards farming and all that jazz. So overall, it should work out in the long run. The weekly gold wrap up is going to be a nice little format to this. I'm having a little play around with like how the format actually works. So I really just want to see how this format just can work, as opposed to just spending ages just on the computer. And I like editing, however, I do like doing the live streams, so I thought I'd try and merge the two and see what comes of it. So this week is more of a practice run with all of that jazz. But needless to say, everyone's going to get all the information for the week for Vendor Gold, Instance Farmer Gold Sheet, and Crafter's Mark. So let's go over towards our lovely Iranos, who is basically our Vendor Gold guy, because we've done the Instance Farmer. Now we're going to do the overall of Vendor Gold. I think the things of note for this week was actually quite good. So let's just pull up our gold sheet for Vendor Gold, and overall we shall see how much we've actually made. We're currently in Darkshore at this moment in time, so let's have a gander at all of this. So for Vendor Gold this week, I managed to pretty much complete Kalimdor with my dwarf. The different types of zones that I actually faced was the zone of Uldum, which I started off with. This one came out a bit of a bust because there was no actual vendors that actually gave anything of note when we were actually farming. However, when it came towards Feralus, I managed to find a nice little couple of vendors that actually gave us quite a lot of recipes when it came towards all of that. So if we actually go down into Vendor Gold right now, we can have a gander at all of this. So in Feralus, I managed to get hold of the recipe of baked salmon, ghost dye, hot wolf ribs, lobster stew, and nature protection potion. These ones actually sell quite well, and overall, if we've got them on the auction house, then we're going to be selling them most of the time. However, when it came towards the next zone of 1,000 needles, this didn't really work all that well. This one came out of a bit of a bust. I managed to pick up a couple of like supply vendors, however that didn't work overall, because you can go to pretty much any supply vendor and pick up those things. When we came over towards Dustwallow Marsh, however, if we go over towards Dustwallow Marsh, I managed to get quite a few things from Theramore. Not the other different types of hub zones, but specifically Theramore. We ran around the side and inside all of the different types of areas, just talking to all of the NPCs and buying what they had. I managed to get quite a few recipes, which was the Black Pearl Panther, the True Silver Crab, the Murloc Scale Braces, along with the Dragon Breath Chili, and the Mystery Stew, along with the BKP 2700 Enforcer. It's basically a gun, and it gives you a nice little appearance. I've been going with the aspect of just buying 5 recipes from the vendor if I can, if they're not limited, and with items with an appearance, I've been making sure I pick up 3 of them. That means that if one sells, then I've got another, and then if the other one sells, I've got another, so I'm not constantly having to go back and forth to resupply everything moving forward from that. The next two to three zones came out a bit of a bust. This was the Southern Barrens, Desolus, and Stone Tallow Mountains. I really thought Desolus was actually going to give you a load of recipes, but it really didn't. It was quite annoying, but overall, those zones came out a bust overall. The next zone was quite nice. This was Ashenvale. Ashenvale actually gave me quite a few things, which was the giant mace, a standard mace, and a quarterstaff for items. And the next one was the design of Wicked Moonstone Ring. This one I managed to pick up from the vendor, along with the Formula Enchant Bracer of Lesser Strength and the Minor Agility recipe. I managed to pick up one of each as they were time limited, so didn't really have to worry too much about buying 5 of them, because time limited I can only buy 1. So yeah. The next ones of note was actually Felwood. Felwood, on the other hand, only had 1 recipe, which was the Monster Omelette. However, I bought 6 of these and put them on the auction house just so I don't have to go back to Felwood for one recipe. It's a bit inefficient if I just have to go back to one zone for one recipe, providing that the gold value for it is 255 gold at this current time. Not something I really want to do overall. The last zone that we actually finished up on, which we're currently in, is Darkshore. Darkshore, on the other hand, came in with a couple of things, which was just 2 transmog appearances, which is the shirts, the common brown shirt and the white common brown shirt. The white shirt. These ones actually can be sold on the auction house for a decent amount of gold. However, it doesn't actually matter all that much with those, as they're just shirts. They tend to sell really fast, so I'm expecting to actually buy more of them. I actually managed to sell quite a lot of the Argent Tournament shirts as well, so I know that they're going to sell overall, because shirts are typically something that we all just like farm up and everything when it comes towards all of that. However, the mailbox for the week. We currently have in our bags 27,075 gold after this farming session. This is from our liquid gold, and in our mailbox for this week is 13,315 gold just from vendor items. This is awesome, and it actually is turning a nice profit as of yet. However, the one keynote thing from this week is the runic plate recipes from Unguro Crater. I bought them for 2 gold each, and I managed to sell them for 2,607 gold, 2,652 gold, along with 2,498 gold. This is awesome because that's like 7.6k gold for spending about 6 gold for those recipes and then posting them on the auction house. I'm very happy with that, and it gave us a nice total of 13,315 gold. Let's drag all of that in, and then we'll see our total mailbox for the week. Overall, this farming session for the week has actually worked out quite well in the grand scheme of things. We can then add this all to our vendor gold spreadsheet, which is on the Patreon, and also I can then update the TSM profile, which is also on there as well. This will work out quite well in our favor, and at 14,000, so we can log this into our sheet to 14,216 gold. We then can see that our total gold earned is 38,756 gold, whereas our liquid gold is now 41,292 gold just by selling vendor items. The next thing of note when it comes towards all of that is a lovely auction house value. So let's check out our auction house value. This means that our auction house value is currently at 466,189 gold. That gives us quite a healthy, sizable increase from last week, as last week we had an auction house value of 310,000 gold and we earned only 8k. Yet this week we've sold 14,216 gold and we're up to 466k on the auction house for all of that. And we're spending very little gold in the grand scheme of things when it comes towards selling stuff on the auction house. This actually means that we have an overall ROI of 995%. That is brilliant for what we started with. So I'm really happy with the way things are going overall. The total actual gold earned is 38,756 gold. However, give or take with all of that extra additional stuff, we have around about 41,000 liquid actually in our bags right now. That being said, we will now log the bag value, which is 41,000, and the 292 gold in our bags, which means we're doing very well when it comes towards the vendor gold series. So overall with vendor gold, it's coming up quite nicely in the grand scheme of things, so I'm really enjoying this. Morning chat and streamer. Hey, good morning all, how are you guys? Sorry, I was looking at the spreadsheet, so I'm I'm technically recording videos while streaming it and then showing you guys the results. His videos have made me want to try and start Team Org Challenge series as well. Just don't know where to start. Dude, just start. Honestly, if you're starting with Transmog, I'd go with a high value area to pad out your auction house. This would be like Dire Mall or Wailing Caverns. Wailing Caverns is actually pretty good. Forget the item of note within WorthIt, but Wailing Caverns overall in a general front works. Razorfen Downs, Zul'Farrak no go at the moment. I just did it and it's not good. And also Mana Tombs. Mana Tombs is a great one. Later on today, once I've done my editing for videos, we can get on the stream again and then we can actually start farming up different types of areas. Other than that, that is the vendor gold for the week. So now let's just move on to the crafters mark for this week, as we're going to make some additional changes towards all of that. So let's just log out and go on with that. How is Dead Mines 1.4 million? Dead Mines is a fake value. I've been trying to fix it for like a year now in WorthIt. For some reason, it just doesn't work. So I've got to recompile that data in the grand scheme of things. Is that bugged? Yes, it is bugged. I've been trying to create a TSM string that fixes it. Transmog is stupid prices. Stupid prices as in bad or good? I can't tell what you're talking about. Stupid prices, I'm assuming you're saying that it's good. But Transmog for me is highly competitive on my server, so I'm really going for high ticket items in order to make any form of gold. So let's just jump over to Crafters Mark for this week. We've done quite a bit when it comes towards Crafters Mark. We are going to be compiling Crafters Mark into one specific banker after this, just so you know, guys. So let's just start off with Dala GG. We'll just make our way down the list with all these characters, and then we can do our Crafters Mark, because we did some bonus things as well, which I want to compile into something else, which makes sense. However, how would I say it? There is quite a few other different types of things that I actually do want to cover. So like I want to do some more farms, and the stream is perfect for farming, as well as I'm trying to do that 1 to 70 herbalism and mining challenge, which I'm planning on streaming for tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. That should work. However, let's just go into here and we can double check all of this stuff, because I haven't actually relisted these auctions yet on the auction house. So I've got to make sure that I've taken all of this stuff out before we actually continue. But overall, it should be alright when it comes to everything. Really enjoying streaming and recording at the exact same time, because that means it's much more efficient when it comes towards the videos. And if anyone wants to just speed run, they can just watch the live stream and then they can just get caught up in one episode. And then anyone who doesn't and they want to see specific episodes, I can just cut them into their little segments later on, so we can actually think. So overall with Crafters Mark this, what is it? When it comes towards Crafters Mark this week, I did quite a few things when it came towards restocking. This was just restocking pretty much every single day. It's one of those things that you have to do in order to keep up to date with everything. And overall, done actually pretty alright. However, with our Demon Hunter, we've been trying to do a little bit of leveling, and then we're just waiting for time walking. However, when it comes towards our mailbox for the week for Crafters Mark, we made around about 4,352 gold from our level worker, who is not completed. He's only up from vanilla to Wrath in that sense. So we can actually log how much gold he is actually going to be earning for this week, which is 4,352 gold. And the overall liquid gold after this will be, and we'll actually pull in our auction house for this. And the overall liquid gold, which is in his bags, is at 48,709 gold. 48,709 gold, liquid gold in our bags for this character, so that works out quite well. Now let's just jump on to our next crafter, as this our leather worker is still under leveled when it comes towards leatherworking, so I always start with the most underutilized character first, and then we'll just go into the others moving forward. So the next character will be my that would be my rogue, so my alchemist and scribe when it comes towards all that. So let's just log our lovely alchemist and scribe, Mr. Rogie. He has been doing something else, which I will go over in a second after I've done the crafter's mark thing as well. Later on in the day, I will be jumping back on stream and doing a load more gold farms. But as of that, we can jump over and just do our standard little auction things and all that stuff. Because we've actually pulled in a lot of gold when it comes towards all of this stuff. So when it comes towards my alchemist and scribe for this week, I managed to actually gain around about 87,333 gold. This is more in part of selling 2 Vial of the Sands. So we can actually log this in our mailbox for the week of 87,333 gold. Vial of the Sands has really paid off for us. Unfortunately, it's not as worth as it used to be, but 36,000, my server is highly competitive, so I'm not surprised when it comes towards all of that. Let's pull in our gold for the week and we can have a look at a lovely liquid gold in our bags overall. We have done a few additional crafts, which we will actually bear in mind once I actually break that down, but it gives us a nice liquid gold in our auction, in our bags of 95,824 gold. So our alchemist and scribe for the week has actually done very well when it comes towards actually gaining a load of gold back, because he's got so much more stock and he's going to be breaking even very, very soon in regards to all of that. When we go over to our tailor and enchanter now, this should actually balance out quite nicely. We then actually should pull this up in our mailbox sheet, and I actually wrote it in the wrong area. Is that right? No, I didn't write it in the wrong area. Never mind. Okay. So we're probably going to have to do a relist before we do anything. Hello, mate. I installed TSM, the TSM app and Loot Appraiser, and I did all the setup, but the only option in price source is Blizz vendor. Any idea what to do? When it comes towards TSM, buddy, have you set up any auctioning posts yourself? Because I'd recommend setting up your own. I have this basic one for material posting where I set it for just 24 hours, set the post cap to 50,000 and my minimum and maximum. You can pause the stream right now and just have a look at all of this. However, I will just post that in the chat for you to have a look. This is just a basic material post. It just is a competitive one. It just does the idea. However, let's just post all our stuff to the auction house when it comes towards all of that. Oh, this should work out quite nicely in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. I can't change it from Blizz And the option is grayed out. Option is grayed out. Have you actually looked at a TSM setup guide? There's tons of them out there. I really think that would be very beneficial for you, honestly. Because I'm not sure what you mean by Blizz. The option is grayed out. I'm very confused right now there, to be honest, buddy. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not gonna take the whole stream. I'm gonna go check out another guide. Thanks, mate. Yeah, no worries, dude. Just hopefully you get that sorted, because I haven't heard of it ever being grayed out in that sense before. So, or it's something, but I can't see your computer. So hopefully you get it sorted, bud. Right, so now for Crafter's Mark, we're going to have to just relist these auctions. I probably should have relisted all the auctions beforehand. It would have made it a lot more streamlined. However, we'll just crack on and carry on with all of that stuff. We do need to grab a few more items before we can start pulling in any gold. And then we can log what we've got on our Enchanter and our Tailor. We've got a lot of bags posted and created, so hopefully it does all right. But overall, not the end of the world in the grand scheme of things. I know that his gold value for the week isn't that great for my Tailor and Enchanter. However, he is producing a lot of items which over time will sell and work out in our favour. What? I like doing this. So overall for our Tailor and Enchanter for the week, we managed to have a liquid gold value in our bags of, well, not 80 liquid gold. In our mailbox for the week, we have around about 3,474 gold. This is quite bad for tailoring and enchanting, as we're not able to actually produce many things for enchanting at this moment. I don't know what's going on at the moment with my server specifically, but nothing seems to be profitable. So I think it's more of the point of trying to work out how I can make it profitable in order to make some actual gold. However, with tailoring, we're actually producing quite a lot of things, but 3,474 gold is quite good in the grand scheme of things when it comes towards just basic crafting. We're not doing any of the Dragonflight crafting at this moment in time, so yeah, not the best for enchanting and tailoring. However, if we pull in all of our gold, we can have a look at our liquid gold for the week, which it will be something to that effect. And our liquid gold for the week is 92,533 gold. Overall, that's doing all right. And actually, our total net profit is actually starting to come down from the negatives, so to speak. So let's hope we get a decent character pull in the next characters for Crafter's Mark. So let's just jump out and jump into all the other different types of things. I love your you love the animation. Well, you can thank Miss Bunnybell, buddy, hidden. Miss Bunnybell, my server mod, she actually made that animation at the end of my videos. She spent ages on it, but it's awesome, right? Dalla, what do you think the BFA Tailor Portal Gold Farm? Tailor Portal Gold Farm. What do you mean? There's quite a lot of cloth gold farms. Do you have a reference I can look at so I know which type of gold farm you're referencing? By any chance? As for our blacksmith, we're going to have to relist all of our auctions, I think. I'm not too sure if that's going to have to thingy with all that. Wow. Yeah. Bunny's very talented as an artist. Yeah, she is really talented, but yeah, I wish she did more like that. But yeah, she's done pretty much most of my logos as well. Do you know like all the pictures like of me just going with the thumbs up and all that stuff? She did it all. She's done all those drawings. She even drew that potato that I put in that mounts video. I literally went, Bunny, can I have a potato? Why? Because I want a potato. But yeah, she's a very talented person. She's helped out quite considerably when it comes towards the channel. I'm not sure how I'm going to edit Crafter's Mark. I can understand how I'm going to edit Instance Farmer and Vendor Gold because it's an overview for the week. And then hopefully once all that's done, I can then do some more actual gold farms. But yeah, I figured I would actually stream it. So if anyone's new to the stream, I'm basically recording the actual weekly wrap up as a stream. So if anyone wants to get caught up for the week, they can just watch the entire stream, or they can wait for until I've edited the videos. This is like, so if people want things now, they can with the stream, and if they're willing to wait and let me compile them into their separate episodes, then they can see that like that. I figured that would be a better way of doing it. Where was Bunny during the Irish potato famine? Oh, that's some horrible history. But yeah, yeah, Bunny's very talented at drawing, but okay. Next time I do this, if and which I do a stream of the weekly wrap up, yeah, I'm definitely going to make sure that I've relisted all the auctions for the week. So as for our blacksmith for the week, we actually managed to pull in around 882 gold. We've made a lot of transmog for selling on the auction house. However, not a lot of it has sold as of yet, as transmog is highly specific. However, with 882 gold, we can just add that to our bags, and then we can continue with our restocking and adding to this overall. So 882 gold to go towards our Crafter's Mark spreadsheet, which means 882, which overall not that good. And then if we go into our bags, our current liquid gold is a lovely 37,036 gold. Overall, we should go over towards our paladin now, which is our last character, which is our dual crafter and engineer. I'm not sure how he's doing with everything. With tailoring on BFA latest added map, you can close down rift portals and get satchel via. You can get old world tailoring, crafting materials, mooncloth, etc. Before auction house merge 1 on my friend May. I don't know, buddy. I really don't know. I haven't tested that out. I really haven't tested something like that out. So I would assume with the auction house merge, that's kind of ruined it now. I would assume in that sense. So let's pull in all of these different types of items from the auction house, and then we can actually overview this. Okay, So for this week with our dual crafter and engineer, we managed to sell quite a lot of different types of gems and random bits and doodads for engineering. We've managed to pull in around about 2,161 gold, which overall isn't that great. Well, I was really hoping to sell some of the mechanized choppers as they do quite well, along with the turbocharged flying machines. Panther mounts are still uncraftable at this moment in time for me on my server, and I would like them to come back to the baseline. However, it's just so competitive on my server. Crafting panther mounts will always equal a loss for me, even when I'm doing my transmutes to actually get bonus materials. It still isn't even profitable at that point when it comes to even just relisting and reposting all the time. However, with all of that being said, we managed to gain around about 2,100 and 2,000 overall. We managed to get around about 2,161 gold, so we can add that to our mailbox for the week, which opposed from last week was 25,609 gold. It's not actually that good. However, with our liquid gold in our bags, we have around about 61,883 gold. So liquid gold is 61,883 gold. Overall for the week, we have actually gone from a total gold, with our total gold earned, overall since we actually started doing Crafter's Mark, is at roughly around about 179,788 gold. The total profit at this moment in time is at minus 141,668 gold. This is actually a lot better than the previous week, as we've actually managed to pull in a load of the gold back, specifically with our alchemy and inscription. This goes in part with our Vial of the Sands, so that's bringing our profit down. So hopefully we should be able to hit break even a bit sooner if we focus more on the high ticket selling items. I'm going to be focusing more on those in the upcoming weeks and do subsequential little snippet vids if I come across anything of note that is worth crafting at this moment in time when it comes towards just baseline crafting. That being said, the total gold overall is actually not too bad, as we can go into our TSM and we can select all of the characters. So instead of grabbing these guys, we can then go over towards Nyros, Giblet, Dala GG, Nyros, Giblet, Dala GG, Zathrash, and the other Dala GG. So overall, our total gold at this moment in time in all of my characters' bags is 337,000 gold. At the moment, we're running at a negative profit. However, with restocking and resupplying, you can see that we're having a nice little uptick in the graph for Crafter's Mark. This will start working even further, as we started off with 500k. We've now started dropping. We dropped down with our investments, and every week we bumped back up, and now it's, as you can see, it's actually bumping its way back up overall. So hopefully we hit break even relatively soon if we focus more on those high ticket sales. That being said, that is pretty much everything for Crafter's Mark. So let's move on to our little secret hidden craft for the week. So let's just jump out. And if we go over towards Zathrash, we're going to have to relist the auctions manually on this one, because I need to actually talk about the other little thing that I did. Oh, sorry, I hit the mic and the camera and everything, basically. So let's just manually post these items to the auction house, just to speed this up a little bit, because that will work out in our favor, because I need to talk about these different things. I saw the chat. I mean, I gladly see a Czech video about that portals in Nazjatar portals. Yeah, I'll be honest, dude. I haven't actually had a look at those types of gold farms. Um, uh, Honestly, I've been more focused on trying to just farm up weird stuff and high tickets. Unfortunately, Zul'Farrak didn't work for me. But yeah, I'm not really big onto farming materials at the moment. It's The material market has been absolutely abysmal, so I've really gone off farming them. However, we'll find a nice little space to actually talk about all this because we actually did something a little bit crazy when it comes towards our a little bit of crafting for the week. So this week I actually managed to, how do I even explain it? This week I actually bought roughly around about 10,000 of, what was it? Oh man, I'm ballsing this up. I'm ballsing it up. It was Mountain Silver Sage. This week I managed to farm up around about 10,000, not farm up. This week I bought 10,000 Mountain Silver Sage. This item is relatively cheap on the auction house, and I did what any scribe would do and just mass mill it. This is where I actually milled it into its pigments, into the ink of the sky. And if we go into our transmog farmer for the day, the ink of the sky, I did this yesterday, and we turned it into ink of the sky. This is where we actually got the silvery pigment as well with us, but that wasn't our keynote item. We wanted the ink of the sky specifically to craft Dark Moon cards. This is because we were turning them into their subsequent cards in order to sell on the auction house. These cards, I only wanted to turn them into their decks. This is because I managed to find out that a load of these have a decently high value, and there's not a lot on the auction house at this moment in time. So I bought out the cheap material of Mountain Silver Sage, as that could create the pigment for creating the ink of the sky ink for our scribe, and then crafting them into those respective cards. I spent roughly around about 20,000 gold on this. However, I actually managed to create quite a lot of old school decks. These decks include the Warlords deck, which basically rewards a Dark Moon card of heroism. It's an old school trinket, along with the Beasts deck, which coincides with that as well, and also the Portals deck, that gives you another one, and the Elementals deck. All of these sell relatively well on the auction house as nice little quest items, and the min buyouts and the main buyouts, they're okay. However, you can sell all of these different types of cards on the auction house for a decent profit. However, you can also sell these cards on their own, but if I was able to, I crafted the decks. This is so I can sell the decks on the auction house for roughly a sizable amount of gold. I'm going to reset these as the gold value tends to fluctuate quite a bit. As the Beasts deck, it typically says roughly around about 119,000 gold for this as a min buyout, but relatively speaking, a min buyout for those decks isn't actually that good. It's not actually going to sell because there's no other pricing data to be found or seen on my server specifically for that. So we're going to have to reset those to roughly around about 10,000 gold. The items that you get from this are average from around about 6,000 gold, but it's mainly the quest, so to speak, associated with these Dark Moon decks. However, this is a nice little keynote item that not many people actually restock on the auction house, but do actually sell. These decks I've done in the past, and relatively speaking, sell quite well in the grand scheme of things, especially when it comes towards the old school classic Dark Moon decks. So we're actually restocking this overall. Hello, happy Sunday, Dalla GG. Hey, good morning, Thomas. Hopefully you have a lovely day. I'm just talking about my Dark Moon decks. And overall, I'm going to add this towards my crafter's mark for the week by just changing all of these pigments into their respective inks after this particular video, and then just selling them all in the auction house when it comes towards my auctions for crafter's mark at this moment in time, which has an auction house value of 53,000 and our liquid gold at 95,000 gold. So just a nice little tidbit for anyone who wants to make a little bit of an additional gold. If none of these little decks are on the auction house, you can easily reset them, as the Milton Silver Sage costs you next to nothing to actually mill. You can also do this with Dream Foil as well, and then just using the Ink of the Sky to craft the old school Dark Moon decks, which eventually will sell. However, this should work quite well in the grand scheme of things, and a nice little tidbit for everyone. I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. Love your vids, happy to catch you live for once. Hey man, yeah, I plan on doing a lot more live stuff as I moved, and the internet's quite good, so I'm trying out recording my videos while also streaming, which actually we've just completed. Kind of. I just need to turn those into their respective inks, and we should be good to go. But when it comes towards crafting, no, this won't be. Does this come under farming? No, I actually put it under farming. Why? Not too sure on that one. That shouldn't work. However, we've got all of the old school cards, so I can just add them to their respective area. I'll probably do something separate. And then post those to the auction house, farming, crafting. We want to keep it out of the crafting log because it won't calculate it very easily. So we'll have to do it as like a one-off thing towards TSM overall. But other than that, with our crafter's mark, that actually works quite well. I love your new series with vendor stuff. It was insane seeing the 7k gold you made from Ungura recipes. Yeah, man. Oh man, I'm gonna be editing them this stream into their separate videos. So I figured I'd try out streaming the wrap up for the week, editing it afterwards into their separate videos, because some people only go for certain things. And then if anyone wants to just watch all of it, they can just watch the stream, which we are pretty much done with now. So what I'm going to do is, it's been 52 minutes of a stream. I've done what I need to do. I'm going to edit the videos, and then we're going to do some actual live gold farming later on in the day once I've done all my other stuff for the rest of the week. So hopefully with this new format, I can actually do more farming, make more gold, and also show you guys more gold farms. So it's a win-win for everything. So other than that, guys, have a wonderful rest of the day, and I shall see you later on in the day for another live stream when it comes towards farming. If you have any suggested farms, please leave them in the comments. Other than that, have a lovely rest of the day, and I shall see you soon.